Today we're going to talk about quadrilaterals, just an introduction. The first thing we want to look at is the definition of a quadrilateral. And what a quadrilateral is a polygon with 4 edges and 4 vertices. And in case you forgot what a polygon is, that's a plane figure with at least 3 straight sides and angles. So if we look at this sample quadrilateral here, here is an edge, here's an edge, here's an edge, here's an edge. There's your 4 edges. And then here is a vertex, here is a vertex, here is a vertex, and here is also a vertex. And then inside you have angles, right? Here's angle A, angle B, angle C, and angle D. So let's talk about naming a quadrilateral. It is really important when you name a quadrilateral that you keep the letters in order. But the cool thing is it doesn't matter which letter you start with as long as you go in order. So let's name this thing a few ways just for fun. We could name it, let's see, it could be quadrilateral. Well, let's go with the obvious choice, A, B, C, D. We can name it quadrilateral BCDA. Let's just do one more because this is just so much fun. It could be quadrilateral DABC. Nice, right? Awesome. Okay, so that's all you need to know about that. The next thing we want to talk about is consecutive parts of a quadrilateral. And the word consecutive pretty much means in a row. They're sequential, they're side by side. And then of course non-consecutive would mean they're not in a row, they're not side by side. So here's another example of a quadrilateral, and let's name a couple of consecutive angles. So a couple consecutive angles, we could say any 2 in a row, so L and M. We could say N and O. See? They're side by side. Side by side. Side by side. Side by side. And then let's talk about consecutive sides. So again, it's in a row, 2 sides in a row. So we could say MN and NO. Those are consecutive sides. One comes right after the other if I'm driving around this quadrilateral. OL and LM. Those would be consecutive sides. They're in a row. And then the word non-consecutive, and like we said, that means they're not in a row. They're not side by side. So let's name a couple of non-consecutive angles. So those would be angles that aren't in a row. So angle L, and what would be an angle that's not in a row with angle L? What's not beside angle L? It has to be angle N. See, it's way over here. I can't go straight from L to N, on an edge anyway. All right, how about, what is a non-consecutive angle with angle M? What would be the only angle up there that would be non-consecutive to angle M? That would be angle O. Good job. All right, now let's talk about non-consecutive sides, or sides that aren't in a row. So let's start with LM. So what is the only side that is non-consecutive to side LM? That would be NO or ON. Of course, you know, the order of these letters does not matter. All right, how about MN? What is the only non-consecutive side to MN? LO or OL. Okay? So consecutive, in a row, side by side, sequential. Non-consecutive, they're not in a row, they're not side by side. All right, let's look at something else. The next part is talking about a diagonal. And a diagonal is just a line segment that joins 2 vertices that are not on the same edge. They're not part of the same side. See, like J and B are on the same side together, right? They're on this edge together, and J and T are on this edge together. So if I wanted to draw diagonals for this shape, it has two, right? Quadrilaterals have two diagonals. So one diagonal would be JL. And what would the other diagonal be? The other diagonal would be TB or BT. Doesn't matter. Okay? So it's just connecting any two vertices that are not consecutive. All right, now let's do one more example that covers all of that stuff together. So we have one more example of a quadrilateral. And let's answer these questions. It said, let's name that polygon. And we have to give two examples of names for this polygon. So let's look here. We could go with quadrilateral HOPE. All right, what's another name we could use? We could say quadrilateral PEHO. All right, let's name some consecutive angles of this quadrilateral. All right, so what's one pair of consecutive angles? Let's say angle E and angle H. What's another pair of consecutive angles? How about angle O and angle P? And there's more. That's just two examples. All right, what are the diagonals of this quadrilateral? All right, so one of them would be EO or OE. And the other one would be HP or PH. Right? The fourth one, non-consecutive vertices. So two of the vertices that are not in a row. So we could say O and E. Or we could say P and H or H and P. Do you notice anything or any kind of relationship between these last two? The diagonals go to the vertices that are non-consecutive. All right, and then for the last one, number 5, consecutive sides. So a couple of sides that are in a row. So we could say HO and OP. Those are consecutive sides. And do you see how consecutive sides, they share a letter? Hop. All right, and then we could say OP and PE. So to be consecutive sides, they have to share a vertex, right? All right, that's it for today. Next time we'll talk about the angles inside a quadrilateral. Have a great day.